What's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles welcoming you to another edition of Lyles Figure Files. I don't know what's going on with my lighting. It's so terrible. It's like super dark. I'm like in darkness. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. It's another Thursday night live. We're here, got a lot of stuff to talk about, maybe potentially controversial discussion tonight. But I think it'll be fun as long as we all stay civil and courteous to each other's opinions. So before I get into all that, I like to, as always, thank all you guys out there for supporting the channel, repping everything, and telling everybody about it, subscribing, chatting, and being overall really cool, great people. So thank you so much for tuning in, and hopefully this will be another edition worthy of your time and your investment. So let's see who is in here in the chat with us already. Green Man is here. Tom Finn 2018. Afton Child, what's going on? Hello to you. Kidred, what's up? Green Man's got his face purple, wide eyes going. Tom Finn, been in the right store, but it must have been the wrong time. Bought the right fig, but I was collecting the wrong line. Story of my life. Robert's Infinite Realms is here. What's up? Blake, what's going on, man? Skew Raider is here as well, live from the replay crew. 80s kid from the 90s. Hello there. JT the Grind, what's going on? James Green, good evening, people. What's up? What's up with you? Nolan, what's going on? Hey, Blake, thank you. This is, my wife is my t-shirt dealer of choice. So she finds all these cool Marvel shirts and all that good stuff. So I'm really excited to have another one to rock on the chat. Hopefully by this time next week, we'll have a whole new slew to show off and bring into these new chat episodes. I hope you're well. I hope you're doing well too, Robert. I'm ready to bring the controversy. Omega 579. Hey, what's happening? What's up? Daniel Reeves, what's up? Wanzer Itzel, what's going on? And James Carpenter, what's up? All right, so let's get into it. If I can figure out what the heck is up with my lighting. Let's see here. Just do the crazy shift here. No, my light is just off. I don't know what happened today. Got my regular lighting, but for some reason, this one is terrible. Okay, anyway, let's talk about it. So before we get into this controversy, let's talk about the new reveals from Todd McFarlane's DC Multiverse line, because this was also very interesting. We knew some of these were coming up. 80s Kids from the 90s was very excited. He's been asking for the last few chats, when are these figures going up for pre-order? The answer was today, so we finally get a look at them. Let's take a look. First up, it's Tim Drake Robin, not Drake, Brian Michael Bendis, but the one and only Tim Drake in his classic 90s attire. I don't know what's going on with this head sculpt. It looks like he almost has braces, but this is the Robin outfit that I wanted to see, the one that DC Classics didn't really truly deliver. So we're finally getting this look in action figure form. Not quite sure if he's a little stubby, but this outfit, this is my look for Robin. So I was really happy to see this costume in the DC Multiverse line. He comes with a batarang and his bow staff, as well as a stand, which is very helpful for this line. He's got the bow staff. He looked kind of cool. Still wish there was just a tad more articulation, but this is pretty good. So I like the flow of the cape. Not too big, not too small. It's just right. And lots of great detailing with that glove, shoulder pads. I just wish this head sculpt were a little bit different. This one's not really doing it for me, but it's close enough for exciting action. Robin, Tim Drake, he's ready to go. And then we see this iconic cover shot. This is such a great shot of Robin. I love this thing. And so happy to finally get this in figure form. What's up with everybody here? Spartan Toy Hunter, you have made it. Welcome to the party. Hoodlum Inc., bring it in my rock voice. I was supposed to bring my rock figure so I could do that, but I'm sorry. Rick A.E., hey, what's up? Rodney Sessoms, good evening. Jeffrey Blake and gang. Chamberlain Parks is in the house. Yay, yay. 80s Kids from the 90s said, I just uploaded a video from my Black Series San Diego Comic-Con predictions, so make sure to link your channel. Thank you, because next week is our in-between week before Comic-Con, so we're definitely going to talk about what everybody hopes to see for next week. So start getting your list together now. Nolan, some great looking figures. Guessing they'll show up in Canada around November, December, if at all. I don't know. I mean, I feel like sometimes Canada gets stuff faster than us here in the States. Robin looks a bit chunky to me, maybe a little bit, but I feel like McFarlane tends to skew a little bit too big for most of the figures, so he'll fit right in, except for that Nightfall Batman, which just looks perfect. Ski Raider, getting better with these iconic figures. I'm glad to see that. Flash, Beetle minus goggles, I know, etc. I mean, I still don't understand the goggles, man. It was so close, and he just dropped the ball. 80s Kid from the 90s says, Robin looks great, but will he tower Batman? No, I think he's gotten the scale better. And this Robin mold doesn't look like one of those super gigantic ones. It doesn't look like Jax made it, which is great. So I'm really happy about that. Mr. Cheeseburger, what's going on? I need the Todd Father to get us a classic Darkseid, Plastic Man, and Brainiac. Which Brainiac version do you want first? Because I feel like Brainiac is one of those characters I'm really 50-50 with his classic looks. Do I want the robotic all over cyber, like he's hanging out in Terminator world? Or do I want the one that kind of looks like Lex Luthor? He's got the shorts and he's got the purple flared up collar. I mean, I don't know. I really like either one, either look for Brainiac, and I don't know if I have a preference. Still a ways to go, but getting better. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I don't mind seeing this kind of improvement. It's like, good, you're doing it. You're taking criticism well. You're actually getting figures that we want to see. Besides, how many ways can I make Batman a different figure? So this is very encouraging. Did I look up Roger Delgado from Doctor Who and Zod from Superman 2? Oh, that's Terrence Stamp. I mean, Terrence Stamp is a man. I love his role in Phantom Menace, Chancellor Valorum. I mean, I wanted him to go kneel before Valorum, but yeah, I'm all about him. Matt O'Brien, what's going on? Happy Thursday to you as well. Mr. Cheeseburger says Canada does get everything first. Comics CMD store always has everything months before they're in the US. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's like, yeah, man. It's like, what's happening? Don't forget Gentleman Ghost. Now, Rodney, now there are a lot of things. I keep looking over. I go into my figure room every day, and I always look at my DC Classics line and just like, oh man, you guys were so close to delivering this perfect line of DC figures. They started off on such a great foot, but then they started not caring about scale. Like Kid Flash was like super small, like he was 6 compared to Barry, and then Big Barda wasn't. She was like mini Barda. That was a problem, but that Gentleman Ghost figure was incredible. I think they executed that figure so well. It's been years. He hasn't morphed into Gentleman Ghost, who looks like he's got yellow all over. He's still got that nice, pristine white color. I really love the way that figure turned out. Probably one of my top 10 favorites in that whole line. I just wish I could go back in time and tell Toy Guru, you need to make these 10 figures and a whole other pack of Legion of Superheroes in the same scale and more women. But yeah. Another vote for Darkseid. Yes, we have to. James Carpenter, what's going on? CMD isn't the only Canadian store that gets stuff early. I feel like there's a rack of them, and it's just so many. And I'm like, wow, you guys have this stuff so much earlier than we do. Robert says, I like classic Brainiac from sort of Super Friends days. Yes, Challenge of the Super Friends, Brainiac. And then we had the Superpowers version where he was in the robotic shell. So either one, maybe he should do one soon so we can start clamoring for the other one. Rodney Sessom says Darkseid gonna have to be a super mega figure. That reminds me. Oh yes, I was trying to think who it was that had a mega figure that you all might be interested in for a super really great price. And then I realized it was our guy we're talking about right this moment, Tom McFarlane. And today on Big Bad Toy Store, there we go. He is in stock right now for 50% off. So you can get him super cheap. Mongol, $19.99 for a mega fig. That is amazing. So, you tack on your $5 shipping, it's $25. That's really good for that mega fig. So if you haven't gotten them, now's the time to grab them. The Super Friends version of Brainiac, shiny and chrome. Yeah, I mean, either one I'm fine with. I am so happy that he's on everybody else's radar. I'm not the only one waiting to get Brainiac in this multiverse line. Robert says, I know Canada got those Avenger anniversary figures first. We're still waiting in the USA. Yeah, for some of them. Not all, because some have actually popped up. Let's go on to the other one that was up for sale pre-order today. This one is another one I kind of wish Todd just figured out a better way to do it, because I'm loving this one. But it's a Superman Hush figure, and I think this mold is not awesome. I really see what they were trying to do here with this Jim Lee sculpt. I feel like without Scott Williams inking, you don't really get the full effect of Jim Lee's art. But I really think that is a good Jim Lee head sculpt, although it looks a little weird in figure form. So then we got this, and this body is just kind of a weird, bulky looking deal where it's like this super upper torso and then a little smaller, slender waist, and everything else looks okay. I think we still got some paneling on those legs, but I'm okay with this figure, sort of, kind of, but I don't think we're going to get this. I still need a classic Superman, maybe a little bit lighter blue. And I like to see the red actually line up properly so it's not this gap of blue hanging there. I don't love that. I see what they're going for. I'm really happy they have a flight stand because I feel like I've gotten so many McFarlane Toys figures as of late without the flight stand. It was really great to get that with Superman Action Comics 1000 because that was great for that figure. And they held up pretty well as long as you get a stiff joint one because some of them just flop right over. But it's nice to see Superman flying. Nice effect on the cape. Maybe that's something I can use for another one. This flying pose looks really good though. And maybe this profile shot shows off this figure a lot better than the straightforward look. But you definitely see that Jim Lee inspiration for this figure, and you can put it with your Hush Batman. And I think if you're really into that storyline, you'll be happy with him. One other thing that I was happy with was the price tag of $19.99. So I think a few McFarlane figures were starting to creep up to $22.99, but they've gone back down to $19.99, which is awesome. So let's see what everybody else is saying here. What's up, Ryan? I just marathoned 3 Indiana Jones movies, and now I'm stressfully resisting buying some of the Adventure series. Just give in, man. Those figures look amazing. And these last versions, because I didn't talk about them last week, but I was so impressed when they showed them off. Of course, they're gone from my immediate deal. But these Last Kingdom figures that Hasbro showed off last week, so great looking. I mean, I was really, really impressed with how they turned out here. Let's pop them up real fast so everybody else can see what I'm talking about. But yeah, these figures look really good. And I got to get Indiana Senior, got Junior. These head sculpts are so great on these figures. The detailing, got Indy and Junior. I mean, that looks great. All these kind of great accessories for him. He's packed with a bunch of stuff. And then the build a set on this one, also really, really great. Really strong lineup. And I feel like these are ones, the build an artifact wave. Cannot wait. You chose poorly. I mean, look at that. All that detail in that figure. Awesome looking set. And just a fantastic bit of work there. I have been resisting the urge as well to get these, Ryan, but I think it's a waste of time now. Oh, and now, of course, you all didn't get to see any of that. Let me try that one more time so you can actually see what I was talking about all that time. But yeah, these figures look awesome. And they've done a really great job with them. And so much great work. So yeah, very fast since I've already talked about them. And you all didn't get to see a one of them. All right, so there we go. Really good line. And I can't wait to start tracking them down as well. I saw Mr. Freeze in my Target, but I passed on it. I decided to get Ant-Man instead. I'm saving up for tomorrow because the Cad Bane and Cobb Vanth 2-pack goes up. Uh-oh. That's one I'm going to be looking forward to. Kendrick, I just got the Marvel Legends figure Classic Loki from the Loki show. Nice. How'd you get them? Did you track them down from like an online retailer? That's part of the Kanosh Build-A-Figure wave. I want to complete the Build-A-Figure, but I want Jimmy Woo, Zombie, Wanda. You could probably, that's the thing about losing Dork Side Toys. They would have the Build-A-Figures lose for pretty decent price points, but now it's like, good luck trying to find somebody else that does it. But yeah, I'm with you. Lefty Two Lions, what's up, man? Thanks again for the heads up on the Target sales. Excuse me, this week. Oh, you can thank my local toy collecting crew and our toy thread because I would not have known if they hadn't texted me and I was like, I need to get to Target ASAP. So I'm really happy that you guys were able to take advantage of it too. Nolan, yes, I'm liking the Superman. Awesome. And then Robert says, I hate that Superman face sculpt. Ew. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's one of those from one angle, it looks amazing. Then another was like, what are you doing, Todd? But I feel like if this figure had a better head sculpt, and I don't necessarily think it's a bad head sculpt. I think it's a Jim Lee accurate one, but it does kind of need that cross hatching to get the full look, the full Jim Lee effect to really convey that. But It's decent. I'm happy for everyone that's happy to get that figure. Toy Games, what's going on? If only every McFarlane was as good as the Nightfall Batman. I know, right? And we have some that look great too, like that steel figure that's coming up. I'm really happy with that Alan Scott figure. I just got the Jay Garrick, the Flash figure. Really great one. I'm really happy with how he turned out. This Flashpoint Flash figure also looks to be on that same level as that Nightfall Batman. So I'm encouraged by the fact that it seems like he's doing better and more figures are starting to get to that. Okay, this is a really sharp looking figure and not so many. What are you thinking with this body part or this body choice, Todd? So he's getting there. Hoodlum Inc. says, I never liked that body. The Page Puncher was close, though. Yeah, that was a good choice. Now that we got a Superman, I need a Brainiac. Yes. Kidra says, have they done a Kingdom Come Superman yet? They did Batman. No. And that's the other problem with McFarlane. He starts something, gets people excited, like, oh, cool. I can't wait to see more Kingdom Come figures. And then there's no more. And I don't understand why he didn't at least do like a 4-pack or a wave of 4 figures. We get Kingdom Come, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Captain Marvel. Call it a day. Maybe do Solomon Grundy, Magog as a Build-A-Figure. But I think he could almost do a satisfactory, really small wave with those 5 characters. And I wish he would get more in there because, you know, there's a lot of Kingdom Come fans that would love to see those figures with some articulation compared to what we got from, you know, DC Direct back in the statue era. James Carpenter says, I think the Superman would be better suited as a Bizarro. I think they actually used this mold for Bizarro when they first did it. I think maybe this is the Infected Superman, which they've repurposed for Bizarro, but I think it works way better for Bizarro than it does Superman. Alex Sepsaris, I hope I said that correctly. Hope future McFarlane figs follow on the steps of Nightfall Bats with right proportions, textured wrists, ankles, the new abs cut, etc. Anti-monitor seems to be good too. Oh my gosh, let's go look at him again because I am so excited about that figure. I mean, man, you told me that McFarlane was going to deliver a actual kicktail version of the anti-monitor this year, I would have been shocked. But man, the figure looks great. It's pre-sold out right now on Entertainment Earth, but you know, eventually it'll come back in there. But let's take a look at this figure because wow, the eye effect looks really good. You can see it's actually sculpted, it's not painted, and that's really cool. So maybe we can do a little bit more, you great customizers out there. Got all the tubing. He looks ready to battle the Spectre and all the heroes. Maybe you have your page punchers. Yeah, there we go. Figures, you can put them around anti-monitor and replicate this classic shot. I think it's from Crisis 12, or is it 11? Anyway, that's a really nice, I mean, I can't wait to get this figure. He's a Meg fig. He's not going to be as tall as like you, but it's a really strong looking figure. I love this head sculpt. Look at those teeth. They're so jagged and crazy. So he's ready to go try to kill every Superman that ever existed. But I can't wait for this guy. And so excited to get him. Add him on to the collection. $19.99? Super. Yeah, 80s kid. I mean, I was really happy to see that price too. I feel like it's been too long since we've gotten great figures for $19.99. Rodney, I'm definitely looking forward to that first appearance Superman figure. Okay, I think you might be the first one I've heard that's actually been looking forward to that figure. I think a lot of people are still not happy with that mold, the body they're using for it, but I'm glad you like it, man. Daniel, I went to Ollie's the other day for the first time. Oh man, was it like everything that you thought it was going to be? Because I know the first time I went to Ollie's, it was like, oh, okay, I'll be back here all the time. So many trades on sale for like $3 and $4. And if you catch them on the right time when they get new stuff, you can get omnibuses for $30. I was like, wow, I love this store. And then they started bringing in more action figures. So I got that Bib Fortuna from Return of the Jedi for $8. That felt like a huge win. And I know people now are getting all kinds of Star Wars Black Series figures for $10. The 501st, the Death Troopers. I was like, whoa. So I need to go to Ollie soon. But anyway, let's see what you got. I got the High Evolutionary for $7. That's awesome. Black Series, Dr. Evazon. I always mess up his name. Yeah, for $10. And a Dark Knight Returns comic and mass set. It's a pretty cool store. It is. It's so much fun. It's like, it feels like one of those stores back in the day, like a Zales for me, or Yeah, Zale's best, where it was like you never knew what was going to be there anytime, and it was like when you find something great, it's like, yes, I got a great sale, I got a great deal. Can we get Moolah Rum? Mr. Cheeseburger, help me out on that one. I'm trying to remember, but I'm sure the reference will come back to me after I've asked. Yo, Toy Games, I have seen the Mezco Indie, and wow, that figure also looks bananas, crazy. Any other thing I want to use? Let me see here if I can pull it up real fast for everybody else who might not have seen it. So that's interesting. Maybe this is just an exclusive on Mezco's site because Entertainment Earth doesn't seem to have it up just yet. But yeah, and then coupled with the Hot Toys version from Dial of Destiny, which apparently no one wanted to see. But yeah, that one looks really good. Let's pop this up so everyone can see here because this is a really, really nice looking figure. All kinds of details. Getting that Harrison Ford head sculpt is always tricky, but yeah, that looks like him from back in the day. I mean, these pictures look great. They really sell the figure. So many cool accessories with them as well. And yeah, I think this is a really solid figure. That leather jacket looks great. And yes, we could do this iconic shot. This figure wasn't too bad at 130 for a Mezco figure, so I think that one turned out pretty good. And Hasbro has done a good job with this indie line, Nolan. I think this is one they can kind of pat themselves on the back and feel like, yeah, we're getting it done. We're doing a really nice job with these. Daniel wants to know, do I prefer Tim Drake Red Robin suit or the green and red suit? I'm debating which figure to get. DC Classics gave us the red suit, and I was fine with it, but to me, I don't mind any variant, costume, next version, but I want the one that's classic, the one if I think of the character, this is the look I prefer him in. That's my main problem with that Captain Boomerang figure. They did the modern one instead of the one with the classic kind of weird jacket scarf combination deal he had that worked with the Suicide Squad, that worked with the Rogues, and it's like that's a missed opportunity for him. But yeah, I'm fine with either one. Robert says, Indy, I'm a lock for Short Round, Henry Sr., and maybe Grail Knight. The Grail Knight looks awesome. Anything else needs to hit clearance. After Child, you watch Dungeons and Dragons, really love the movie. Hope they make a second film. I really want to get figures of Dork and Simon and Dork Owlbear. I don't know. They're still in the pegs. They haven't been clearanced out, at least as far as I've seen. WT Lions BK says, Hush Superman will be my last McFarlane Superman. Can see McFarlane doing a black and white version of this suit. If I can get a Mayflex version at a reasonable price, I'll replace it. They haven't done a classic Superman from Mayflex yet. They've done one that works in the Hush world and realm, but we haven't gotten that one that kind of fits in like a... I wonder if they'll do one for Reign of Superman. We've gotten the recovery suit look, but at the end of it, he did go back to the classic look. He's got the mullet. Maybe they do a double dip where they have the mullet head sculpt and then the old classic short hair look for him. I would love to see that. James says, we did see the Indiana Jones figures for the first time. Nice. That's good. Were they a lot on the shelves on me? 80 Skid says it's a good year for Marvel Legends and the Black Series. Yes. Danny Reed says Amazon is also having some figures for sale. Yeah, they've got Prime Day coming July 11th and 12th, and that's kind of all right, let's hold off here and let's see what they're going to bring to the table. Of course, you have to be a Prime member to really take advantage of these sales, but if you got somebody, if you know somebody, this is a great time to stock up on figures because all the other stores like Target and Walmart are trying to be like, all right, what y'all bring in Amazon because we're going to have sales too, and then eventually it's going to be this big price matching war, and we're going to come out ahead like always on this kind of deal. Got Trapped in the Corrupt USA says, they're doing that Nightfall Joker. In fact, what does a Nightfall Joker even look like? It's basically the same Joker, the classic version of Joker that you've seen. I'm trying to remember. I think he was in one of those detective comics. He wasn't really involved as you might think Joker would be in that series, but I mean, it's Joker, and you can kind of always want to get him involved in any kind of line. So there's nothing wrong with that. I'm really trying to remember. I think he and Scarecrow teamed up for a second. It wasn't a very long run in that particular storyline, which was kind of wild for him because that was definitely not the norm. Okay, here you go. I had to find the picture so you can pull it out and see what he looked like in Nightfall. And like I said, it's classic Joker, nothing really new, but here it is. So, I mean, he's wearing a trench coat here, purple outfit. I mean, basically like that amazing DC Icons figure. If you didn't get that, that's kind of what works for your Nightfall Joker. So it works. But yeah, if you didn't get the Icons one, I'd highly recommend that. That's a really great figure line until they decided, let's move on to something else. Has McFarlane done a Fletcher Superman, or was that someone else? I guess that's someone else, because this one that they're doing is going to be the very first appearance, not that Fletcher Superman. But give McFarlane some time, and I'm sure he will get around to it. We ever get a Superman for McFarlane yet? We don't have one that matches up with that Nightfall Batman, and I think that's kind of what we're all hoping for now. We've got the classic Batman, where they never do another one. That is the definitive Batman we can put front and center of our multiverse display. I think we really want one for Superman. We've also got one coming for Flash. So it's time for Superman. It's time for Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, of course, Hawkman, maybe a better version of Martian Manhunter that's taller, bigger, maybe a little bit lighter green, and just those definitive versions. I don't care about any fringe. Oh, here's a slightly different version. But if we can get versions of all the main characters like we do Flash and Batman, I'm going to be really happy. Mr. Cheeseburger, Marvel Legends on Amazon as low as $7.99. It's crazy, right? I mean, it's like, geez, why would I buy these figures at $24.99? Kendrick says, what villains do you want to see in the Batman universe? I would like to see Professor Pig, Poison Ivy, but she has to be an eco-terrorist and not a plant monster. Anarchy, Hugo Strange, Scarecrow. I take all of them. Who else? I need a classic version Riddler. We don't have him yet, or Penguin. We've got these Arkham versions, but we don't have classic comic book versions. Deadshot, another character I am shocked that we don't have in comic book form in this line too. Is there anybody else? Two-Face. We have Two-Face's Batman without the regular Two-Face. We got movie version, but I want classic comic book, crazy combinations of the suit colors Two-Face. You get Nightfall Robin? Yeah. So I will be getting him along with Batman for sure. I don't know who that Tubi monster is, but you can take the eyes out. Oh, and put some LED lights on it. That would kind of work. That looks like a double as Colossus Juggernaut mold, which is so sad because that was around so much longer than Juggernaut Colossus. How good are Power Town figures? They're very posable. Well, today in the mail, I just got my Carrie Von Erich figure. So I'm going to break him down on a video and then do an actual figure photography review later on. But I'm really excited to get him. So that's exciting. I have Madam TA. He's pretty good in terms of posability. They're not really making these to be play and pose and all that wild stuff like you might do, like I do. But he can do it pretty solid, belly to belly. They're thicker and bigger than the Mattel Elites and Ultimate Edition figures. So they're going to stand out that way. I think you'll probably want to keep them apart, which is kind of a bummer because, if you're like me, you've got hundreds and hundreds of Mattel figures at this point. I would have liked them to have been just fit in a little bit more, but I think they're superior looking figures. And if you just have them on your shelf on display, they're really good. In terms of posability, they could be better. They could be worse. They kind of mash up to the original Elite style, but in 2023, you want really great articulation for your wrestling figures. And I would say maybe about a 7 or 8. Northern Nomad, what's up, man? How you doing? Tom Finn says Power Town is awesome in hand, but they're behind the curve on articulation compared to Elites. Yep. Dungeons and Dragons movie is way better than it ever should have been. Matthew, that is all I've ever heard about that movie. And I feel like so many people have it in their top 10 for the year. And I cannot wait to actually watch it myself. Matthew, can't do McFarlane except their large figures. Yeah. I know a lot of people don't like the aesthetics of McFarlane figures and some of the joints are kind of wonky, but I've been impressed by what I've picked up for the most part. That Damian Wayne Robin figure is probably my, I don't know about collecting these figures anymore, but since then they've done some figures that I'm really happy to have gotten in my collection. Toy Game says, off the top of your head, you got your top 3 of the year so far, stuff that's out in any line. Let's see. Wonder Man, just because I really wanted him in figure form and I'm really happy with how he turned out. The Razor Ramon from WWE, Mattel's Ultimate Edition line. I think they really nailed the Scott Hall likeness with that figure. Let's see. Do I have a Marvel? Oh, no. I'm trying to go with different lines so I don't just stick to top 3 being all Marvel Legends. I don't know, maybe the Magnet CA Power Tail figure. I really like the way he turned out, even though he doesn't have all that amazing articulation. That's off the top of my head. I'm sure 20 minutes from now I'll come up with a different list, but that's what I got. Blake, I don't have a Superman figure. I know. So Jeffrey, what's the ultimate? I did like the Kingdom Come knockoff that came out recently, but it's hard to get now. Oh, we're talking about the DC Multiverse one from Mattel. That was pretty decent. You know, that's the crazy, wild thing about Superman figures. They've made a gazillion of them, but it's like, which is the best one? In terms of articulation and likeness, posability, I would say the best one is the DC Essentials Superman. And that one has really great articulation, like really, really good articulation. And he's posable. The only problem is they kind of use the same buck mold for everybody. So he's not like, oh man, he's Superman the man compared to what you would see with some other ones. So here is the Essentials Superman. And I really like the head sculpt. He looks like Superman. He's got really great articulation. And here he is against the DC Multiverse when they were like, you know what? Collectors probably like articulation in their figures. And this is the DC Icons one. This one's one that I wouldn't say is too far off. I just wish his head were a little bit better, but he's a pretty good figure sneakily. But this one is so classic Superman. Like everything screams Superman to me with this head sculpt. He's got the curl, he's got the eyes. He doesn't look mad. He doesn't look like he's about to go beat up everybody. He looks like he's thinking it over. He's Superman. But here's how he looks compared to some of the other ones. And this is the problem. He's the same height as Barry Allen and Bruce Wayne. It's like, no. I don't want my Superman to look like that. But otherwise, it's a really, really great figure and one that I'm really happy to have in my collection. Maybe the recent Mezco. I don't have that one yet, but based on all the art accessories they gave him, that looks like a really good figure. And it's $125, but it actually seems like you're getting your money's worth with it. It's got the Candor set, but maybe that's an option. Pavement Carver says the D&D movie came a few years too late. Probably, because I think a lot of people were hyped up and excited after they saw it, but it was like, okay. And Matthew says the Hush Superman from Mayfex is the best Superman figure ever made, and it is pretty good too, especially if your cape doesn't get crazy on you. That's a good one. Really great Superman colors as well. Pop it up here because I did get that figure. And I think this one actually has the best appropriate colors of Superman, which I feel like we don't always see. But here, Superman, classic Superman colors, a little bit lighter blue than some of these other figures we've gotten. He's got really, really great articulation and has a lot of different posability. The cape sits in there really nicely. And he does indeed look like Superman. If you see here, this is with the DC Classics President Superman, and it matches up pretty well height-wise, size-wise. And here's the army of my Superman figures, Blake, so you can see all the different options. Here's the DC Essentials, the DC Superhero Superman, the Mayfex Superman, DC Icon Superman, DC Classic Superman, and the McFarlane Action Comics 1000 Superman. So there is the full slate of my Superman collection right there. Did McFarlane start to do the animated Justice League team but never finished it? Yes, and I don't know what happened. I want that Joker's figure. Yeah, check out the DC Icons one. That one's not 7 inches or really 6 inches, but it is a really, really great figure. Eric, what's going on? How am I feeling about the Super 7 Thundercats playset coming out? Looks awesome. Just wonder about the price. I don't have any Thundercats from Super 7. I'm slowly making my way through their Silverhawks line. I've got 4 of those figures now, and I wish they had a lot more articulation. I want to get the Thundercats. I'm looking at that Thunder Tank. I think that's a really cool thing. I don't know where in the world I put that playset though. I think it's really great if you have a lot of space and the Thundercats is your dedicated collection. But they're fighting with Marvel Legends, Star Wars, Thundercats, Masters of the Universe, WWE, Power Town, AEW, everything. McFarlane, DC, Simpsons, Muppets. Space is getting tight, and I don't know if I can get a whole other place and a whole other line like this, but I do want to get some of these Thundercats. If Thanos wanted to eliminate half the action figure population, he would just have to snap his fingers and make all the Batman, Joker, and Harley figures turn to dust. Tom Finn, you might be correct. Daniel, what's going on? Hey, I'm in Target right now. What do you think? Do you want a Black Series Lando? I cannot believe a Black Series Lando is actually available at Target. I'm still trying to track down CoverGirl and Outback for $12.49. I went to a store right before I did this live and saw CoverGirl, and she was down to $21.24. Did McFarlane do a Gorilla Grodd? I would argue no. They have this really Super Cheetos attire for him. Not really loving that. It's not. Grodd needs to have a mega fig, and this one is just the regular carded figure. So I would say no. He hasn't done one yet. Looking forward to the Soups versus Doomsday 2-pack from Target, says Buff88. The Doomsday looks great. I'm still not so sure about the Superman. Nolan, I want a Legion of Doom playset. Yes, sign me up. I want that for sure. That would be everything I'd want. 80s Kid says, I want a classic Batman with the cell shading. The Nightfall one is basically that look. You just buy 2 and then do a little cell shading on that cow, because that's what I'm going to do. G.I. Jakey, 1998 says, I want a first appearance Batman. You've got to know McFarlane's going to come through with that eventually. Being a fine figure, what's going on? Yes, he finally arrived. I was like, like one of you guys here said, yeah, I got my carrot. Like, I didn't get my carrot. It was supposed to be there, but he showed up today, so I was very happy with that. Green Man says, I guess McFarlane Toys DC Retro Batman 1966 Two-Face can work, but I don't know if they scale well with Multiverse. They don't. They're like totally different scales. I think they're like more of a 5-inch scale, and then the McFarlane DC Multiverse more like 7 inches. I did find him for $10. I was very happy to track him down. James Green says, I like my Power Town figures. Yeah, I think they're really good. Tom Finn says, I think it was 2 I was talking with, right? Carrie is freaking awesome. Best surprise of the line for me. Yes, it's really good again. Would not wait to hear that. You ordered Magnum TA, huge fan growing up. Yeah, the boss, he's great. Buff88 says new Street Fighter figs from Jada Toys are really nice. Just got Ryu. Those are figures that I think I'm going to really like when I get them. But yeah, I've only heard great things about them. They're like the Dungeons and Dragons of figures for this year. James, yes, the Carrie figure is good. Nice. Collector Disconnect says, as long as I have capital below, action figures will always be. Yes. Oh, Matthew says, Love and Fei Long. I think that's helped them make that little 4-way into that little space the Storm Collectibles left open, because they still haven't done him. They haven't done T-Hawk, DJ. And I want to see them get to the final fight characters and do Cody and Guy and Mike Hager. Put all those guys in there too. James Green, I'm with you. McFarlane does need to re-release the Mega Bane again. Toy Games, nice, very top 3. Thanks. Always a gentleman. Thank you. I don't know how many of you all watch How I Met Your Mother, but there's this bit, The Gentleman. So thank you. I appreciate it. David Thanos says, I think Power Town did pretty decent for his debut. Can't wait for Series 2. Well, they did reveal they're going to do not a Series 2, but they've got that Cardona and Myers 2-pack coming. I think the pre-orders go up tomorrow, so they have an NWA title with that, so that's kind of interesting. Green Man, I regret not getting the Mayflex suits. I feel like they've got another Superman coming, regular size and all that good stuff, so don't overpay now, because I'm pretty sure they're going to put him back in rotation. So many Superman. Nice. It is so many. It's between Superman, Batman, of course, Spider-Man, shockingly Captain America, Wolverine, the army of them, Deadpool, because Marvel made me, or Hasbro made me with all those Build-A-Figure waves, and I wanted the Build-A-Figure, and I had to get 5 Deadpools in them. And surprisingly, the Undertaker, because he has just enough differentiations between his different figures for me to actually get so many of them. But yeah, Matthew, you're with me. DC Icons is a great line. It is. I really, really wish they were like 2 more waves away from getting everybody hooked, because they had some really great options. They had the Shazam, the Blue Beetle Booster Gold coming, the Jim Ballant Catwoman, great looking figures. And it was like, bring them to me. Sinestro coming. And they was like, sorry, we got to stop the line. I was like, no, we're right there. Jalen says, while you're out at the Mezco, Comic Superman is pretty nice too, for a bulkier, slightly rugged look. I mean, you can't go wrong with that one either. Matthew, can't do Super 7 either. Too expensive, too little articulation, and poor quality. But they look great in package. Yeah, I really wish my Silverhawks had better articulation. And I wish I didn't have to worry about the shoulder joint popping off when I'm trying to get the shoulder joint. So I can just do the laser, and it's like way too much work. For me, I don't want to have to go run some hot water over the figure just to swap out accessories. That's why I get a little gun shy with some of my Star Wars Black Series Jedi. I thought my Ayla Secura was in arm's reach, but yeah, her blade for her lightsaber is so like, I'm not taking that out, but that's how it is. Is McFarlane going to do some new figures for the new Mortal Kombat game coming out? Because if they do my favorite character, Smoke, I'm going to get them. I would assume so. It's just a matter of whenever he gets around to it. What am I looking forward to on San Diego Comic-Con? I got to put my list together. I'm going to go do that for sure on next week's show. So I'm going to break all that down because I have a massive wish list, shockingly, even after Yojo Jim. Kelly Cox, what's going on? I'm still loving the Anti-Monitor Megafig. I'm wishing Todd would make a Metamorpho Metafig next, but small chance of that. You know, I think I can get a regular fig of him so long as he makes it like a deluxe deal where there's a lot of a lot of accessories to convey his powers. But you know, McFarlane doesn't really do a lot of accessories, so he may get one with a hammer and maybe a base that's showing him transforming, but that might be it. But yeah, it would be really great to see that. Kendrick, hey Jeff, if Power Channel did the Graham Wrestling Family, Eddie and Mike Graham, would you get them? Probably not. I didn't see much Florida wrestling growing up, and even now it's really hard to find Florida Championship Wrestling on YouTube, and so I never really was attached to it. My experience with Mike Graham was when he came into WCW in '92, fighting Flying Bryants. I don't have that great connection to him like a lot of other people. Which Outback, see regular version Outback all over my targets with Falcons. Regular white T-shirt Survival, not the Tiger Force version. They started hitting clearance. I got Falcon. I figured I was waiting on for a sale for $12.49. I was like, that's the price I'm going to get you. And the Crimson Vipers at $17.49 and Cover Girls $21.24. So if I can get them for $12, I'm really happy. I don't mind paying full price, but if there's an option to get them from clearance, I'm all about it. Do you have Ricky the Dragon Steam Up? Absolutely. That was one of the major factors for me getting Mattel's line because Jax never got him and never got Miss Elizabeth or Macho Man. I think the only one of that WrestleMania 3 match they had was George Animal Steel. But yeah, them, the Rock and Roll, the Von Erichs, getting them, I was like, this is a no-brainer. I'm getting this line. I'm all about it. So absolutely. I think all the Dragon figures they have made, yeah. Phantasm Wolves. I really love the concept of Power Town figures, especially them focusing on a unique set of eras for wrestling, especially Territory era. So many you can make. Hope I said Eddie Gilbert. Yeah, that would be great to get him. And I don't know how likely this is, but I would love to see like a UWF focused wave where we get Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Ted DiBiase with removable black glove, Steve Dr. Death Williams, and then balance it out. Just do the 3 free birds so we can have them like a whole wave of Mid-South / UWF. And somewhere we're working Terry Taylor, Chris Adams. 86 from the night says that Boba Fett Luke looks awesome. I'm very happy to have him too. Legend, wait for it. Terry, yes, you're with me. I'm glad somebody else watched the show too. Did anybody see Deadpool's new outfit for Deadpool 3? Oh, I have not. Have they done Luna? she's that wrestler that sounds like she's, I don't know, Luna's. Jax did. And in some cases, those Jax female figures working just fine with what they've done for Mattel's Elite line. Like I use some of those Jax female bodies and they fit in with no problem. And their heads are around the same size. So if you don't like the base bodies of the Jax figures, you can just port them over to a Mattel and have no issues. Being a Fine Figure says, yes, too many Supermans, but I still like McFarlane to do a Christopher Reeves version. Agreed. I do have the Mezco version of that one for whatever reason I haven't opened yet. Phantasmals. Also, I may not know all wrestlers of his past, but glad I got to understand how the lore of those wrestlers impacted the business. Play this game called Legends of Wrestling to know these guys. Well, go on YouTube and let me see. So like in 1980, Portland wrestling was amazing. And Portland wrestling, they had Roddy Piper, Rick Martel, Buddy Rose is awesome. Go down the YouTube rabbit hole. They have so much great stuff there. Jerry Lawler, Bill Dundee, Dutch Mantel, Austin Idol. Those two will get you through until the rest of the promotions catch up. Like I said, Florida doesn't have a lot of stuff on there, but there is some great stuff on wrestling from back in the day. Like there's some playlists from different years. I would recommend 80 and then go to like 82, Von Erickson, Freebirds, and yeah. Hit me up. I'll send you a list of stuff to watch. Mattel announced the Masters of the Universe movie recently. Yep. Robert, I just hate Super 7. All I'll say, I understand why people don't love it. I was really excited about the G.I. Joe line, and then they did my boy Flint dirty, and I was like, okay, I guess I won't be getting that line. But I'm just in enough with the Silverhawks line. I don't have a Silverhawks Classified series line to just be like, whatever, I don't need these figures. And I kind of feel the same way with the Thundercats, and I will eventually get them. But yeah, I don't need the Super 7 G.I. Joes because I got that amazing line from Hasbro. Green Man says, I like my Super 7 Thundercats, but man, what happened to Chitara and Tiger? Tiger is this neon orange and still missing an elbow pad. And that was one of those things. It was like, they didn't seem to be very consistent from one wave or even one character in a wave to the next. Are those Super 7 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles figures and G.I. Joe figs any good? You can get them cheaper now if you want to experiment and check them out on Entertainment Earth. They've got a bunch of them right now on their deal section where you can get them. They're on their outlets. If you wanted to check them out and experiment and see if it's worth your time and money, they have some really good deals. I mean, this server mic is $25, so can't beat that price. Then we got some other ones for $25 too. The Mega Fig of those for $165. It was previously $219. It's a really good deal for those figures. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the Cobra Commander's $46.74. So there's some options for you. Keith Feinstein says, for San Diego Comic Con, I want to see the His ship. I'm with you. I'm ready for mine too. Jay, what's going on, bud? Good evening. Did you happen to see the new Mezco Wolverine? Thoughts? I think it's a really good looking blue and yellow suit. But of course, when you get that Wolverine, you need the rest of the team. So I'm kind of like, will you do more of them? And if so, okay. But yeah, I think it's a really great looking figure. And I think they've done Wolverine great through all his versions. Matthew says, the owner doesn't help things with his screw you attitude. I messed up, but you were paying for it. Yeah, like I was reading about the Silverhawks, and I was like, come on, dude. Let's get that a little bit better. Nolan, have I picked up any of the Ewok figures? I went, so I saw Wicket, if this is what you're asking. I saw Wicket, the vintage card, Return of the Jedi 6-inch figure, and he still rang up at $25, and I was like, there's no way this figure is $25. So to answer your question, no, not yet. But I'm definitely going to look out for him. Great man, my brother has an Outback fig. It looks so nice. G.I. Joe Classified is killing it. Absolutely. The Tire Force Outback is one of their best. The regular version is okay. The paint on his arms is too orange. That's no good. James Green says, you got JYD with those wrestlers too? Absolutely. I mean, there's no way I was getting JYD. I'm still waiting for the Ultimate Edition so I can have all these different versions. They had done in this last one, I think it was Legends Series 13 or 14, maybe even earlier. But they did one and they had a chase. So you could get the red tights and the blue tights. And I was so mad that I could not find the blue tights. I was upset with that. Iron Matrix, what do you think of the Legends Marvel Knights leaks? I haven't heard or seen anything about them. Post them in the chat. Let me know which what they are, and I'll give you my thoughts on them. Myers. Yeah, I think that's what I said. Okay, not sure that's what people are looking for from this line. Besides, Cardona broke AEW. Do you recommend the Mutant Mayhem figures? I still need to watch your review. I think they're great figures for $10. And they have some issues because they're $10, but I think for $10, they're really good. That's a good slogan. You do Wolverine, you need to do the rest of the team. I was a GameStop and Super 7 did a character for the G.I. Joe cartoon Raven in a 3.75 range scale. Yeah, and I would love to see her for, for regular classified series. I think that's a deep cut that I think this Hasbro team would actually do. Like, hey, remember her from the show? Yes, I do, Lenny and Emily. Absolutely, and I want those figures. Tom Finn, Mid-South UWF. I would buy them all my favorite territory. It was so good. I'm at this point now. I'm at April 87 where Watts is about to peace out and sell it off to Jim Crockett. And I feel like, oh, man, one of my favorite territories to watch. Because I didn't watch UWF until the NWA takeover. So I started watching them in November 87. So it was definitely not the UWF Mid-South that fans of that territory remember and love. David, Jake Eric, and Batman are $15 at Best Buy. I got him for $15, and I had some reward points. So I got him for $10. Best $10 I spent on a figure this year. If I get Joe's, it'd have to be clearance. Well, you can get them for clearance. They actually have a lot now. I hope you heard me. I wanted the white survival one, Matthew, but only for clearance because I saw one regular $24.99. I can get them, but with Hasbro Pulse sales, I don't have to pay $24.99 either. Thank you, Robert. Noah was saying the Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. I figured it wasn't Ewoks crew. The new ISP is really cool. I like them a lot. Figures are awesome. I have to check them out now. Mickey Rowe, what's going on? Hope one day we get Captain Planet figures. It seems like something Super 7 might make. Well, now I think we've got some retro Funko figures from Captain Planet. Thanks, Jay Malin. I totally missed that one because it's not a line I get, but thank you. The Mutant Mayhem only has swivel ankles, and that rubs me wrong. Yeah, I wish they had the hinge because that would really help with articulation. But yeah. Portland, early 80s sheephitters. Yes, it was great. What I think about the Dark Side of the Ring. I don't watch it because I like my classic idealized versions, not the real life grimy version of these characters. They did an episode on Junkyard Dog. I think they gloss over lots of stuff or go with the exaggerations too much. Yeah, absolutely. As far as options for Power Town, of course, Rock and Roll, Von Erichs, Koloss, and Freebirds. I believe it'd be cool to see Gordo with the classic color mic. Yeah. All right, so let me see here. Let me catch up. All right, now let's get into the controversy because we've been kind of talking about it. And I wondered, sorry, there was one other thing that I really needed to mention because I think a lot of you all were asking about it and very excited. So now the big reveal from McFarlane Toys is this glorious 2-pack, the gold label Batman 1989 figure with the appropriate colored Batmobile. And this looks really, really good. I am very impressed with how this looks. Hopefully we get some more figures or more photos of this. But this looks like what everybody was hoping that other one was. And for the Batman head sculpt, gold belt, and detail on this, looks like the cockpit is colored correctly now. And the little gold lighting, headlights, that looks really good. Are you guys excited about that too? Because I really think they did a great job with it. All right, so now that I've hyped up, make sure to talk about that. Time to get into controversy. So this past week, my guys on my text thread were like, yo, get to Target. The Build-A-Figure Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure Chode Wave is now clearanced out half off. So I meant $24.99 is now $12.49. In most cases, that was the case. The only ones were Monet, Kid Omega. They were still regular price. And then I was like, okay, that's great. But Target was on a mass spree of let's put everything that we have on our shelves on clearance. So they had the WWE figures on clearance, 50% off for Legends, Ultimate Edition figures. That was great. Masters of the Universe, Masterverse figures, Sorceress, Shadow Weaver, Manny Faces, 2-packs or the deluxe packs like Man at Arms, Too Bad, Beastman, 1649. Basically, they took everything we have is on clearance. And I was like, well, geez, this is crazy. This is wild, which prompted me to then go on let me check every store. So here is some of what I saw. Am I running around trying to get this? So the Ultimate Edition Razor Ramon, $32.99, $16.49. Really great price for him. And I was like, whoa. Then this is not my pictures from Twitter, but Man at Arms, $16.49 as well. Classic classified series Falcon, $12.49. Don't care about that head sculpt at that price point. Then Crimson Bat, $17.49, not 50% off, but getting there. And then Retro Batman 66 Two-Face, $10, in-store price only, just to make sure you don't go too far with that. And then here it is, the Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure Chode Wave, 50% off. And a lot of my stores did not have these stickers to go, hey, buy these figures. It was just, let me take them over to the price scanner. And oh, wow, here they go. So it was wild. It was crazy, this scene at Target. And, you know, it was wild because I'm like, okay. So I posted this video. I was like really excited. Go out to your Target, check it out. And it's kind of like opinions were split. People were like, this is terrible. This is not great news because if they're clearing out everything so quickly, what does this mean down the road? And I was thinking, well, it's not Hasbro dropping the prices. Hasbro will put their post sales and, you know, you can get stuff for cheap, but it's not like 50% off cheap. And it's not like, oh man, you know, it's not like the payday of finding these figures at Ollie's where it's like, oh, score, I got a figure for $10. These are really good deals. And I'm jumping the gun a bit because with the X-Men Build-A-Figure Bone Breaker wave, they lasted long enough. So they were clearancing those figures out at $6 or $7. And I was like, whoa, I was getting my clearance prices price adjusted to the cheaper clearance price. It was wild. And I don't think we're going to see that anymore because these figures are getting swiped out as soon as they get clearance. And I don't mind that too much because it's like, hey, first come, first serve on clearance deals. But let's see what you guys said. Dang! Yeah, Green Man, it's wild. Matthew says, I love my repainted Batmobile I got from them. Did they give us the Nicholson Joker? Not yet. I'm not sure they're going to. Nolan says definitely going to try to pick that Batmobile and Batman 2-pack. It's great. Got trapped in the corrupt USA. My Target isn't clearance. They'd rather die than clearance. That sucks. I have one of those stores. Like, I'm really fortunate. I have like within a 90-minute time frame, I'm like really on the hunt. Like, hey, let's see what this store has. I have about 10 or 12 Targets that I can get to and check this stuff out. Hopefully is the one that's closest down the street from me, has everything. But yeah, hey, there's a store that's not too far off that is like, no, dude, this is $24.99. And when you go to all these other stores and they've got all these great clearance prices and you see one that has way more stuff, and then you go to the price scanner, it's like, that's why, because you don't have anything. Target is trying to be like Ollie's. I don't know who they're trying to be like, but I'm happy with them. I don't think we'll ever get a Nicholson Joker. Jack will not get the okay from what I hear. That's weird because he had that great Hot Toys figure. I don't know why it's so particular in some of these licenses. Target puts things on clearance on a week. It's my old joke. It was really weird because I feel like we've gotten figures. It wasn't that long ago when the Puff Adder wave was stocked halfway at my stores because it wasn't like they got the full wave. There was no Wonder Man, Molecule Man, or Orb in any of my Target stores. And I guess Walmart's had them, but my Walmarts are so disappointed it's not worth the effort. But Cap, Ultimate Cap, Yelena, and Civil War era Iron Man, plentiful. Baron von Strucker, he was there as well, but none of the other ones. And I was fortunate enough to get the Yelena before she vanished from the shelves, got her for $12.49, but the others were gone really quickly, and that was that. And I also saw that with the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 wave. They hung around a little bit longer, I'm thinking because of the movie, but it seems like they're giving these lines 2 months to sell at full price. And then when the next wave comes out, then they're getting clearance out. They're moving on to the next one. I'm wondering if they have a deal with these outlets like Ross and Burlington and Ollie's where, hey, we'll sell you these figures for $10 or $15 or whatever. So they're getting money back, whatever they're paying Hasbro, and still recouping it. So it's not a big loss for them to sell them at clearance prices. And they're just hoping to make as much as they can from that initial 2-month surge of these new figures being on the pegs. But I also think they're kind of conditioning us to wait it out until that next wave, because we're starting to see reports of, hey, the Marvels are now coming to Walmart shelves. And if you know they're at Walmart, they're going to be somewhere else too. So kind of like an example of that on a Reddit thread. So take that as you will. Black Widow already showing up at Target. So this figure that we were like, oh man, I can't wait to see her. Now she's at Target. And you've seen the Yondu figure going for 50% off. And the Ant-Man figure is disappearing from shelves, not because he shrunk, but just because people are buying it. And now they're making way for this Black Widow figure. And it's like, okay, we've got to hurry up and get these figures when they hit clearance in that week period. Otherwise, they're going to be gone, because they're making sure they get new figures out faster on the pegs and not worrying about it. Thanos says it's like Christmas in July at Target. It really is. Are the Guardians of the Galaxy figures on clearance? Yeah, if you haven't seen them, you probably won't at this rate, because they were all at least $12.49. I saw there's this period where some of them were $17.49, some were $12.49. Then I saw them as low as $7.49. So you probably won't see them anymore on your store shelves because they're long gone for mine. It really seems like at most the Targets in my area want to keep one wave, maybe some of those special deluxe figures, but they're not keeping multiple waves on waves like we've seen in years past, where you go to a store and you can find 3 waves, or some members of an assortment 3 waves back. It's like, this is the featured Marvel Legends wave. You get it now, you get it on clearance, or you're not going to see it in our stores. You can still buy it on their websites, but they're not keeping these on the store pegs much longer anymore. Robert says, do you think the pendulum will swing soon? There'll be nothing on the shelves again as they under order. The question is when it happens. Got Trapped in the Corrupt USA says, I work at Target and everything wave comes in its own case, not varied anymore. Yeah, that is really tricky too. So Robert, here I wanted to check this out, because it's like, okay, well, we're the consumer are just kind of like, okay, what are we supposed to do? Because I broke this down because I was just really curious just to see what it looked like if you paid the basic $24.99 for these figures. And I didn't throw in tax because that varies from state to state. And I don't want to get too complicated, but say you paid $24.99 for not every wave. I just went with the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, the Build-A-Figure Chode wave, the Puff Adder wave. I didn't include that. I just did the Guardians of the Galaxy Chode wave, the Spider-Man Across the Multiverse wave, and now, yeah, and this so I think it was 4 waves that I broke down. Maybe it was 3. So, and then I included figures like Yondu and the X-Men Retro. So that's what it was. It was the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, the Chode Build-A-Figure wave, the Yondu standalone, X-Men Retro series, which is still right now at Target Online, and the Spider Across the Spider-Verse, because those figures were $24.99, dropped down to half off as well. So here's what that would look like if you paid full price for these figures, and then if you just waited till they were 50% off, not even like $7.49. Here's what it looks like. So you would pay $700 for like 4 waves and a couple of extra figures, versus the clearance price of $395 for these figures. To me, I think as a collector, we're the only ones that get punished. We're paying $700, and then a month and a half later, you pay $395 for these. it's not really encouraging us to pay this price when you can get it for this later on for such a short window of time. That's crazy and that's wild to me. And I'm thinking, well, geez, what incentive is there for us outside of super brand loyalty to pay that full price when you walk into the store a couple months later? Oh, here it is for $7. And that was just for a 50% off rate, not if you got it for the ultimate lower clearance rate of $7.49. All right, so let's see here. Kelly says Amazon had Nebula on sale, but she was the only one from the line. I think we're going to start to see a lot of that as Prime Day continues. They're starting to put more stuff, trying to match Target and other stores that are putting sales out right now. Robert says my shelves. Matthew says my shelves are really thinning out right now too. And that's what's happening with my Targets. I mean, they only put one wave of Marvel Legends at a time. And I'm seeing that also with the Masters of the Universe. We've got a new wave coming with Webster. And so they're clearancing out the old one. The WWE Legends line is about to get the new one with Brother Love, Undertaker, and the Nation of Domination. So that means the other Legends waves need to hit 50% off on clearance. And they'll stay on the shelves for a little bit longer than, say, Marvel Legends, but every sale they're going to go to super clearance, and that's just what they're doing. I need to be excited about seeing that Black Widow, 80s kid. Yeah. Matthew, that Black Widow looks great. I'll buy it if I see it. And she's definitely one that I think I'm going to use all of this Target money for my red circle and just get her down to my clearance price. But yeah. Tom Finn says there's no controversy outside of my comments. I'm the only idiot paying full price. But it's a tricky thing because it's like for that Puff Adder wave, I saw Yelena and I never saw Baron Von Strucker or Iron Man when they hit clearance. The Captain America, I think I saw reports that people were finding him for half off, but I didn't see him. Elena was the only one. She had a price sticker, but no one else did. And that wave was like here and gone. And then it was, hey, here's all the Chode figures. And I was like, darn it, did I really miss this clearance out that fast? Because the Bonebreaker wave stayed so much longer. I think what we're going to see is there's going to be that window. You can get the figures at full price. That way you don't have to worry about it. You can get them at clearance, but it's going to be I need to scramble for a week to try to get everybody for half off. Those Guardians were on the end cap here, long gone. Yeah, definitely. That was the case for mine. It was like they were there, and then I think they replaced them with Star Wars Young Adventures and no more Guardians. And the Yondu figure is the only one that's still there. So I think in some cases, because there were still a few Mantis figures hanging around on my shelves, a few Drax, Adam Warlock, I think they're gone and they're going somewhere else, maybe to Ross, TJ Maxx, or Burlington, Ollie's, whatever. So maybe there'll be another chance to get them for $10. 80s Kid says Hasbro redeemed themselves this year. Jay Woods, I beg to differ, sir. Us Canadians are willing to pay $35 for a standard retail price Marvel Legends. Jay, do your figures ever go on sale to a decent amount like what we're seeing here in the States with 50% off for these figures? I mean, that still seems a lot even at $35 to be half off. But do you see those clearance prices? I live in Toy Hades, so I never really see how it goes other than online. But I've seen this pattern a few times, and it's becoming more pronounced since the pandemic. Yeah, that has definitely been the case. I mean, during the pandemic, when we'd sneak out and go to a store early in the morning before anybody else got there, it was like, there's a lot of stuff. And then you come back the next few weeks, there'd be nothing there because they just weren't restocking. Keith says maybe retailer logic is geared toward casual consumers, not collectors. It certainly seems that way. And I think if they have fresh stuff to rotate in and out, they don't care. And I guess that works out for us right now because a lot of us are like, oh, new wave, let's get them all. And then we get bit later on seeing them on clearance. Doomsday 219 says I picked up a Motu new attorney at Too Bad today for $16. Yes, great figure for $16. I almost feel like these figures are a little bit too expensive. And because they hit clearance so fast, I'm like, well, why am I paying full price for them? Legends. I don't necessarily think that Mattel overcharges too much on these, but if you got all four of the new Legends wave, you would have paid $91.96. Half off is $47.96. So clearly, it's one of those deals where it's like, why would I pay full price if I know I just need to wait a little bit longer and then I have them on sale? And the Legends aren't like Marvel Legends where they're clearancing them out so fast that people are waiting, swarm, and grab them all away. The Legends stay on the pegs for a long time. They've got Legends 17 right now, in addition to 18 on clearance. So they may back to 2 series, but for the most part, you see them, get them on clearance, get them because they may be gone. Miguel says, almost had the full chode wave. Just need Fang. Looking forward to Black Widow and Karnak at the moment. Still looking for Hawkeye, Monica, and Doom 2-pack, and Thor versus the Destroyer. Are you in Canada or somewhere outside of the US? Because we haven't seen any of those that you mentioned. J Figures and such. My personal feelings is buy what you really love and complete teams. Wait for everything else. Yeah, that's the smart strategy because you don't want to be like, oh man, I've been waiting for this Ant-Man to get on sale and now he's gone, never to be seen again. I think it's one of those deals where, thanks to Hasbro Pulse sales, we can take advantage knowing that there's going to be a Pulse warehouse sale. And it was really good this last one with the 35% off for Pulse Premium members, where it's like you're getting cheaper figures, maybe not at the clearance rate, but for example, that cover girl that I saw, she rang up at 21.24. I'm like, yeah, no, that's good because the Pulse sale is going to be cheaper, and we have one in the summer. So come the fall, they're going to have another one, and she's not going to sell out. I'll just wait until then. So, guys trapped in the corrupt USA. I see everything firsthand working overnight. Open the boxes and all, but don't buy them for the asking price. The employee discount is non-existent. No, come on, man. They gotta have a good employee discount for y'all. That would be the best reason to work over there. Right now, I cherry pick. If I really want it, get it when it's available. If not, I'll wait. And if I just kind of want it, I'll wait. It is a fine line, Robert, because you don't want to be caught up like, shoot, like, because that's the clearance game where it's like, okay, you're $24.99, you dropped it down to 17. Oh, wait, another week and now it's down to 12. Do I wait until it's the $7.99 or just buy it now because it's still cheaper than paying $25 for it? And I think I'm okay as long as it's past that 50% off mark where it's like, let me get it right now. Speaking of getting it right now, I told you guys I did make a run. So, wow, it was loud. I did get Shadow Weaver because she wasn't at my store earlier. So getting her for $10, awesome. And this is the power of clearance because I was like, yeah, this looks kind of cool, but do I need it? And getting Daniel's son and a Power Rangers Cobra Kai mashup for $8.38. Great deal. Check your targets because they've got the Miguel and Johnny pack. That's now our figures that are now arriving in stores. So you can get Daniel, you can get Samantha for cheap. And it's really wild because it's like, hey, we got to get something in. We got to get rid of the old stuff. I can wait a little longer for Darth Maul to go on discount on Amazon. Whew, that's a rough one. I think he might go really fast if he's expensive. I mean, he might go quicker once they put him on for a little sale. Your $35 deserves $20. That's a deal. Yikes. David Thanos says, I've learned to wait on most. A lot of stuff has been peg warming, and you also have Hasbro Pulse sales. Those Pulse sales have been amazing. And if you wait, it's like, shoot. I always think it's funny because I was at the forefront of this whole $25 is too much for figures. But now it's like, who cares? Because I'll just wait to get them cheaper than they ever were. I mean, I was not getting figures on clearances when they were $20. I don't think I ever saw a figure at that price point drop below, maybe $2 or something, if that. I feel like Target, Walmart, Toys R Us back in the day held pretty steady to the $20 price point. Yeah, we're seeing them drop half off. It's crazy. Jay Woods, since the price increases, I only buy on sale. FOMO is extinct. Exactly. And that's why it's worked out so well for us, because for the most part, unless it's a really like random figure like that Marvel Legends 20th anniversary Captain America, you don't have to worry about these figures selling out. Let me just go into Amazon real fast because I was thinking, oh man, it's gonna be so hard to find these 20th anniversary figures. And then it started getting a little wild. So let's take a look here at the figures from this wave to show you what I'm talking about. That Hulk is expensive. I think it's a little bit more than the average price anyway. Iron Man went down to $21.94, and this line was $31. When they first came out. Same deal with Toad. Toad was 33, and I was like, why is Toad so expensive? Still think he's too expensive at 29, but that's a much better price point. Captain America is really the only one that surged to become more than the original retail price, and it sold out on Pulse. So you can't take advantage of their sale on that end. But that's the deal. It's like there might be a figure that gets higher, but you're going to come out ahead for the most part, waiting on sales, waiting for Pulse sales, or waiting for Target's clearance. And I don't feel like Walmart's really helping out with this, but between Target and Pulse, I'm doing all right with these sales. Green Man, scalpers eat up all the stuff. I got to go to Frankenstein's to get stuff I'm looking for. Is Frankenstein's overcharged, or are they pretty reasonable? I can't wait for Obi-Wan Jabim as well, Ace Kid. Can't wait for that Taylor, and especially Brother Love. I'm going to have to tone down the red of his head, but yeah, I'm looking forward to getting both of those. Kelly, no chance of clearance in Canada. Toys R Us still has a terrible Snake Eyes movie figures for full price. That is terrible. That's a bad deal all around. Sorry, I did a Roger Rabbit. Looking at this one. Super Adaptoid was close to $100. Sorry, but I can't. I really don't think you should apologize. Hasbro should apologize for not including the wings, the shield, to make all that Super Adaptoid a Super Adaptoid of the Avengers. I'm still upset about that one. Jeez. James Green said that Pulse sale was great. I got the Spider-Man and Friends 3-pack. That was really good. Do you do videos letting people know Target has put figures on discount? Yeah, the one I just did Tuesday was all about the Target sales on discount. And I do those anytime I see a sale, Pulse sales. I'll probably do one for this Amazon Prime. Just let everybody know what's actually there. Did it for the Pulse sales. I'm trying to help everybody out here who's checking out the channel to know when to go to stores, because it's a crapshoot sometimes. And like I said, I have a Target right down the street, so I tend to, I need bread. I need eggs. I need water. I need soda. Let me go check down and figure out, and also see what they are too. Nice. One of my friends from the library got that Motu figure. I think you're talking about Too Bad. Really nice figure. Keith, I just got Masterverse Buzz Off. I'm all in on Origins, but cherry pick this line. He's great. Yeah, that's the way that just came out. Where'd you get him from? Curious if you got him from Target. Guy trapped in the Corrupt USA. 10%. That's not a great discount. And waiting for discount now. Power Rangers Remastered Yellow and Blue refused to go on sale. I haven't seen them in my stores in a long, long, long time. David Thanos says the Highway Robber of the Year was that Ghost Rider Marvel Retro 3.75, entering Target at $35. Still waiting for it to go down lower. What is it now? Because I know I saw that one cheaper. Let's see. Maybe. Oh, I see that Amazon has it for 21. Are you looking for it to be cheaper than that? But that's not too bad, because at least that has a bite. When do we get the Masterverse Panther? I wish I knew. I'm surprised we haven't seen him yet. Only buy sale and clearance now. I feel like that's the way to go until this pattern changes. And, I'm not going to be upset when it's like no more sales. It's like, hey, I made off pretty well for like a year and a half. I got stuff for super clearance and really cheap prices. But I feel like with Pulse, they're always going to have those sales, and most of their stuff doesn't sell out. And I may just have to buy a whole bunch of stuff when the Pulse sales come up. And Target seems like they're on this clearance thing for a while. So maybe we'll look out and be all right for a long time. Walmart is Walmart. Walmart's going to Walmart. I really hope so that Star Wars Black Series, Dumarin figure from Jedi Survivor, all the characters from Fallen Order and Survivor. Speaking of clearance, I got Battle Cat Masterverse for $16. One of the best deals I found. That's a really good one, because I really loved posing that Battle Cat around. I think I got him for a pretty decent deal too. Probably not as good as you did, but that is a really good one. Todd Jones, what's up? When the regular price for Legends was $20, the Walmarts around here were selling them for $17.88 normal price, and I actually stocked them. That's nice. Yeah. I think you're right on that. There were some retailers like Walmart where, and they would do this for their WWE figures too. They were $20. You could go to Walmart and they would be $15. And I was like, yes, Walmart's my home for WWE figures. And when they started charging the regular price, I was like, what's going on? But yeah, Walmart was pretty good about that for Marvel Legends and WWE stuff. And they would have a whole bunch of those figures on the shelves. A lot of my Walmarts in the area have really reduced their action figure aisles where it's like, you guys are stocking stuff from way back in the day. Like they're doing kickback for their Transformers stuff. I'm like, why am I here? Green Man, they overcharged frankincense for the most part. Well, that's no good. The movie figures, I just haven't checked, but I know the animated cartoon ones were super clearance, 50% off for the most part. Going to my Target tomorrow. When I walk into the store, I'll be listening to the Mandalorian theme song. Then I'll grab the Cad Bane and Cobb Vanth 2-pack and pay for it. This is the way. Yo. What's up, Happy Accident? Did I hear Walmart? You did. They just denied me a Spider-Man for sticker price because it rang higher. So my money went to Target and McFarlane. Yeah, I have the closest Walmart to me is such a joke. And it's like, why do I go here? And then eventually I was like, I want to stop going here. It's a waste of time. But yeah, it doesn't make any sense that they don't stock up stuff and then you pre-order. Oh, your pre-order's been canceled. And so many times I try to get that lizard figure and no luck. But yeah, it's really good when you get figures without having to deal with the hoops that Walmart puts you through. But speaking of, that was the time, appropriately. Walmart has this collector con, and it's going to be July 18th and 19th, right around the time as San Diego Comic Con. And you can see everything that they've got coming up here for sale or on their collector con event. So it's going to be G.I. Joe, Star Wars, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Marvel, you see Marvel Legends, Joe Fix-It, the Bucky Cap figures are expected there, Transformers, WWE, Stranger Things, Masters of the Universe, Minecraft, Hallmark, Lego, Barbie, bunch of stuff. So that's where we're going to see Shadow Tracker, and I don't remember what the Star Wars exclusive was there, but lots of stuff. Unfortunately, some stuff I do want, so Nightmare with Walmart continues on. Green Man, my Walmart is abysmal. Their toy section is only Nerfs now. Yeah, mine is terrible. It's a waste of time going there. I beg to differ, Jeff. My Walmart is a big joke. Yeah, that or pool stuff. That was a terrible Walmart. Barbara says my Walmart is a joke, but I did get the animated Spider-Man for retail there, so that's why I keep looking. It's rare what happens. Yeah, that's the thing. Every so often there'll be like this magical land of Walmarts where they actually get stuff in. It's like, shoot, who knew? Oh, Lego. My Walmart doesn't carry Power Rangers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or G.I. Joe. Well, that's a terrible Walmart, 80s kid. Speaking of G.I. Joe, let's look in on the progress of this Dragonfly. So far, the momentum is stalled. It's 14,714 backers. Remember, it hit that target goal of 10,000, excuse me, really early on. I think within the first week for sure of it being up. I think maybe it was a weekend before it got funded. But yeah, it has not really moved very far since the Night Force Ripcord got funded. And we got the reveal that Glinda was the next tier. Still thinking if Glinda was Docker Airborne, this thing would be funded so much smoother and be on its way to the third goal. But it really seems like collectors who are saying, don't put Airborne, don't put Doc in there, weren't maybe going to buy it. And the people who were wanted, or who were on the fence, wanted a better figure, better character choice than Glinda. David Thanos, I got it for less than 20 using some Target Circle money. And Target Circle money is gold, especially if you go there a lot. Excuse me. 80s kid from the 90s. Yo, Joe. Happy accident. Motu is toast in my Walmart. So no Deluco Duplo, I think, right? For my near complete Origins collection. Yes, Duplico. Green Man. I remember my Walmart used to have so much good stuff. The toy section was huge. It was like Toys R Us, but that was during the Star Wars Episode 2 days. I have just started to slack off lately. Before, I say pre-pandemic, there was a Walmart that I could count on to have so much good stuff. And they're okay. Like, they have a pretty wide aisle of figures. And they can stock it up pretty well, but it's not as consistent as it was before the pandemic. Todd says Walmart is only used for clearance Legos these days. I'm surprised they have clearance anything. I'm looking for the movie version of Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah. But also the Blue Beetle movie figures, they are coming out now after Child. There's only one good Walmart, but it's 25 minutes away. That's not too bad. I can't with Haslab. I've got huge issues with crowdfunding with something I think would do good at regular retail. Robert, how much do you think that Dragonfly would work for and sell without having to go to clearance and retail? Hawkcat Yellowjack Texas says, are you backing the Unparalleled Universe Odious Kickstarter? No, but it's not because I have some beef with Unparalleled Universe. It's just I have so many lines that I'm collecting already that it's hard for me to get into a new one. I mean, I really want Thundercats figures. I haven't gotten one yet, and this is another new line I just can't get into just because of space logistics. I need to figure out what the heck I'm doing with my shelf right now. Oops. Have you seen any of the new WWE Ultimates and Ruthless Aggression figures? No, but it's because I haven't been to Walmart, which I think is exclusive home to the RA figures. I need to track them down, probably go to a random wild Walmart shop stop soon just so I can see what they've got in there. 86 from the 90s says, we need Revenge of the Sith figures. We do, all of them. Jay, from my perspective, do you think the other crowdfunding programs that are still pending reveal impact Dragonfly sales? That's a really great question because I always wonder in the mystery of, hey, here's the tease, we're going to show you soon. I don't know if that hurts or helps. I think what would be better if Hasbro at the beginning of the year announced the schedule. They don't release, hey, this is our Haslab because they want to build up all this excitement. That's one thing, but I really think it would be helpful for people who are into multiple lines to go, okay, from January to February, mid-February is the Indiana Jones Haslab. From March to mid-April is the Transformers one. And then so forth and so forth. There are all these different lines that they have going on. I think it's the whole deal of, well, how much money do I need to hold? Do I need to hold on to $400 for this next crowdfund, this next Haslab? Or am I going to have a little break where I could have backed this other one? I think that hurts any Haslab from companies like Mattel and Hasbro, where they have so many various lines and people want to support these projects, but are like, I need to know the details. Give me the cost. Don't tell me what it is. Just tell me how much I need to set aside, save up before I start getting them. I quietly think that is some of the reason that the WWE Nitro set didn't fund. It was $400, and this was early on in the year. And I thought that was smart to get ahead of every other crowdfund project, but people were like, yeah, but I want to know what this G.I. Joe Haslab is. And I also want to know what the Marvel Legends one is and what's coming from WWE. So it's just, it was too much stuff. And I think if you're competing with other Haslabs, especially within your own company, it's a problem. I think that way a schedule would help because this way people know at least how to kind of budget what they're going to back. Robert says, honestly, with MRQ and Wild Bill, I think it'd do well at 175. Just my thoughts. I would really wonder what that would do. And I'm curious how many features and functions they'd have to take out to price it down to that point. Hasbro, the time has come. Execute Order 66. Indiana Jones Haslab, that's going to fail. I was throwing it out there. I don't know. Are they actually planning to do one? Kelly Cox, absolutely 100%, Robert. Even 200 for a retail Dragonfly. But I mean, when was the last time we've seen a $200 anything on retail shelves? I feel like that would be hard for it. And there may be a situation where they put two in and people who want it would buy those two and they'd have a hard time restocking. I don't know. How much is the Metroplex from Transformers? I think they can do it. Well, you may have me correct there, good sir. Let me see here. I can look for Transformers Titans class. But I will say those figures do go on clearance quite a lot. Man, Target's website is not helpful sometimes. I think the Metroplex, the Generation one, wasn't. I think it might have been around 200. All right, let's try it this way. I frantically try to pull this up here. Oh, so this is the price, at least at one point in time they had this figure for it. I don't know why it just vanished. So let's see here. If you can see here, it's 132 for that figure. I felt like that's cheaper than I remember the price being, but it was on store shelves for that price point. So maybe 200 would work. I don't know. I just kind of feel like they could only put so many on the store shelves at that price. What up, though? You have missed everything, but we got the replay so you can check it out whenever you get a chance. A Black Series son and daughter of Mortis figures, I'd buy that. Okay, so Frustrated Fan Sports Show, what's going on? Metroplex was $200. I guess the price on their website was the sales price, in which why it was no longer in stock. Keith Titan Nemesis is $199. I think Metroplex was exactly $199. I know a lot of my area friends were excited to get it for a discount deal, so that must have been very helpful for all of them. So here's my last question for tonight's episode. I'm looking at my figure room. I'm not really loving the way I have my stuff arranged anymore. I'm kind of going, I can't see figures behind in the back. How am I fixing this? Between risers, I have some, but they're not quite big enough so I can see actually over the figures. It's like they're here, but then the figures are just kind of over here as they stand up behind each other. How are you guys displaying your stuff so you see everything on the shelf? And then if you're an old school, long time collector of these lines, say Marvel Legends, what do you do with your Avengers? Do you have one shelf for your Avengers? Or do you, because I'm starting to get a little like, I need my 80s Avengers, my 70s Avengers to themselves. I can't mix and match and have Sentry on the same shelf, maybe a different shelf. What are you guys doing in terms of displaying your stuff? I really like the way I have my WWE collection for the most part, because I have them by year. So I have my 1987 shelf, my 88, 89, 91, 92, etc. And I like that. And I run into some complications because I'm running out of shelf space to do a really dedicated Attitude Era version like that. But I kind of like the way it looks where you can see everything there. How are you guys setting up your stuff so you can see space? Cream Man, same. I have the same problem. Thank you. I'm wondering if it was just me. I don't do full price out of principle. I do it because I'm too mentally disorganized to do clearance. Sorry, Friday. I was supposed to check Target on Monday. I'm with you. So what kind of risers and stands are you using Frustrated Fan Sports Show? Because I need to figure out a better way to do it. I think the goal is to display less is key. I have a small space to display, so I must keep stuff in bins and just kind of rotate things in and out to various spots. I think I may end up doing that with my WWE figures because I have a bunch of more modern, by modern, I mean like 2019. I'm kind of like, they're cool, but I want to have my Attitude Era spread out a little bit more. Get freestanding glass shelves with special teams in them. So are we talking about like the Detolf Blake, or are you thinking more like just the shelves by themselves without the bookcase bordering on them? And if so, let me see a picture, please. Blaze T says, I personally don't think I'm collecting wrong. I'm a 29-year-old collector. I built 10 different Earths and about 5,000 figures. I would love to see how you're displaying it because this is exactly what I'm talking about. Ace Kids from the 90s. I have my Star Wars figures displayed in a couple different platforms on my shelf. I have a platform for Disney Era and a platform for Return of the Jedi. Let me see what you do for yours too, man. I think I'm going to have to do that too. Also get rid of boxes. Also got to get rid of boxes. Yes. Everything else Star Wars is miscellaneous display. So let me see if I can show you what I'm talking about for my WWE stuff. So this is how I have them. I really like that setup where you can kind of see everything nice and clean and clear. And then you have your other stuff kind of floating around. There we go. So I can see very clearly that's on my 89. This is my 90 shelf. Those are those figures there. And I want to do that for the other stuff. And I'm kind of like, So I'm thinking I want to rearrange my whole Marvel universe, my Marvel Legends setup, put some of those figures down to that bottom shelf. I'd love to see what you guys are doing with it. Let me know what you are doing. Send photos in the comments on the community tab. Let me know. Blaze Starks, he says, I do different dioramas. My most common one is a Battle World. Battle World's a pretty nice way to do that. I put taller in the back and shorter in the front. I tend to mix wrestling anyway, so not a huge deal. Gets more difficult with Marvel, etc., Robert. Yeah, I'm with you. I collect exclusively Marvel combo character action figures. All are in their exclusive display diorama that has a theme. I use Extreme Set dioramas. Oh, cool. Which ones do you use, Jay? I have some, and I'm got my detail here for my Star Wars. So I got another one. I just need to figure out where I'm putting it. Blake, yeah, I would thin out your major shells and put detail shells around the room in a few different spots. Also, you can see through the sides. That's what I love about those. And I have mine right here, but I have to take a picture so you guys can see it. But yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I can take a picture right now. So that's how I have my Star Wars. So you can see I'm still focused on keeping some differentiation there. So that's my Star Wars shelf. And then the Empire Strikes Back of what I have so far. Todd Jones says, my box is going in the attic. Nice. Can you raise your shelves? Yeah, I can. I think I have my Billy bookcases as tight as I can right now. Or I think I have a little bit of space for them because I had to set up my medium shelf for Giant Man. So I'm trying to figure out how to work it. For Marvel Legends, I'm planning to buy all classic characters first before I purchase any more modern. Yeah. Your figures are a lot of the same height. I know, that's the problem. It's like I gotta kind of figure out how to arrange them so they work, because if everyone's right here, then I don't have that benefit of, hey, I'm putting my Colossus size figure in the back and then Cyclops can stand in front of them without blocking them. Oops. Blaze Dark, she says, I sometimes store some for different dioramas. Battle of the Sexes, all martial arts. Marvel versus DC, all Black Avengers, all Asian Avengers. That's cool. That's a great idea, too. Right? Joe and Indy's clear boxes. Nice. The risers and stands only work with higher shelves. Yeah, I have one of my Billy ones, and I have a really good one, but it takes out for me being able to use it in all the other shelves. Afton Child says, I'm going to do a diorama Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2, the fight with Yellow Jacket. I have the characters I need, but I need a 12-inch Yellow Jacket. Thanks, bro. You need a whole other room. I know. I need to just set up a whole other wing. Maybe I'll talk to the wife. And listen, we don't need a spare guest bedroom. I need the space for my figures. You think she'll go for it? Probably not. But I need to rearrange them. Tilt your shelves at a 45-degree angle, says Thompson. I have done that for my wrestling shelf. The only problem is, so I have two. I have one Billy bookcase catacomb in the corner, and then I have another one here, which is great in terms of visibility. But the problem is, I've created this big hole in the back, the triangle-shaped hole in the back where my wrestling figures, because of the way I pose them, tend to fall. And if they fall behind in the back, I'm not going to be able to get them unless I move the entire shelf out. And it already seems like a major problem. So I need to figure out some netting or something, because if I did, then that would work. But I'm very leery about using that top shelf, even though I like the way I have it set up. Devin, I'm going to try spice rack risers so I can have levels and make the most of my shelf space. I have the spice rack risers, but they're just a little bit too short. Like, they would work just fine for spices, but I'm finding with my 6-inch figures, they're so close in height that you're not getting the benefit of the rise, whereas like that second and third shelf aren't high enough where you can see above the other figure. So yeah, I have to take a picture of that next time. I barely have any room for my Funko Pop, says 80s Kids. I think what I'm going to do is get a shelf that I can put in the back here so I can just have a nice little section where I put extras like those Shawn Michaels Captain America variants behind. So you guys can see some figures in addition to me clearing up some shelf space. James Green, I'm in a box and loose. I just rotate things in and out. I have a Marvel shelf, a DC shelf, and a wrestling shelf. All my box figures are hanging out on the walls. That's cool. I love to see how that looks too. Green Man, I gave all my Civil War comic era Avengers and 90s X-Men to my brother. I was running out of space. Now again, the struggle is so real. Where's the community page located? So look on the YouTube section and it'll have like a community tab on the dashboard where you guys can probably see it. I just posted about this episode there. I'll send a link as well. Blake, ever use action figure hexagon stands and risers? It's made for a more exciting display. It looks like they're standing in more of an environment instead of all in just a row. I need to check out these hexagon stands. One of my buddies uses it, and I just need to figure out how tall it is because I like the way it looks, and I kind of think that would work out pretty well for me. Let's start 2. All told, I can brag about having 74 different Avengers, admittedly 4 Hank Pym, 2 Scott Lang, and 2 Carol Danvers. I have all those too. I think I might have a couple more Hank Pyms. If you go to Target, can you see the movie version Dungeons & Dragons on clearance? I will try to remember that for next time. All right. Well, fellas, thank you as always for tuning in and hanging out with me, talking about this controversy. Remember, next week, we're going to talk about our wish lists, what we want to see for San Diego Comic-Con. Get them ready because I'm going to start working on my list almost as soon as I wrap up this episode. And then, of course, for those of y'all who don't want to hang out with us, on Wednesdays for Lyle's Movie Files, Jace, Chief, Javon, and I will be back as always talking about TV shows, movie news, comic book news, and everything else. Some of you all are regulars now. We look forward to seeing you. We'd love to see more of you guys Wednesday at 8 o'clock as well. As always, I'll be back here Thursday night live at 8:05 p.m. TBS time. So thank you all for hanging out in the chat with me, having fun, doing the thing. I'll be back in better than ever next week. Thanks so much. This episode of Lyle's Figure Files has been